Hi friends, I'm going to be reading some notes just to put into context why I won't always be looking at you. So yesterday I posted a video where I was at the airport in Serbia and I was obviously a little bit upset. Just to let you know in case you didn't, I don't post my content in real time. I post it 3 weeks after it happened. So this is an incident that happened 3 weeks ago, but that had just turned up to be posted. So I'm telling you that to let you know that today I'm posting in real time. I'm posting to you now 3 weeks after this incident, which means I'm safe and I'm in a safe place. And I've had 3 weeks to process and calm down from what happened. So thank you for all the comments asking if I'm safe. And the answer to that is yes. I realised that I was a little bit vague in that video, which was partly due to just general stress and partly not knowing how to articulate what happened. I'm still gonna be vague because that's my prerogative with my life. But it was a sexual crime that was committed against me, and not that I should have to say this, especially in 2026, where we're all supposedly emotionally intelligent, but it wasn't like one of these situations where there's two sides to the story. You know, it didn't start off consensual and then not consensual, or there was no ambiguity about, you know, whether or not that this guy was doing something bad, and it just wasn't like that at all. He's over twice my age. He's a complete stranger to me. He's very unfortunate looking. Um, it happened immediately. There was no build up to it, and there was witnesses as well. I had to run into a gas station because of the location of where it happened, and he followed me, and then I was shouting at him to leave. So a lot of people saw what happened. They saw. So in my mind, the reason I'm saying this, in my mind, when I went to the police, it was so clear cut. It was so obvious in my mind. This is just a clear cut situation. I could not have anticipated what I was walking into, where I was just immediately assumed to be in the wrong. And I got told at least 30 times, if you're lying, you're in big trouble. I really don't think I even got told more than once, like, we believe you. That happened once, and it was from a younger police officer who was alone when he said it. He didn't, I don't think he'd have felt comfortable saying it in front of his colleagues. They were so against me. This harassment went on for hours. I was not always being shouted at throughout that time, but it was always hostile. And the thing is, I was not allowed to leave. That was my thing. If I left, it would be because I was dropping the case. And if I was dropping the case, that's because I was lying, in which case I would then be a criminal. That was made clear to me constantly. So I was in a situation where I was already kind of distressed, but trying my best to hold it together. Um, uh, in a room of like 5 people who don't speak English very well, like making it incredibly clear to me that they did not believe me, um, and that, why on earth was I even talking to them? Why was I wasting their time? Um, and I'm not allowed to leave until these people who have proved themselves to be incredibly incompetent and incredibly against me prove that this thing actually happened. So I knew I was in big trouble, and that's why eventually I had to call the embassy, because I just thought, fuck, I have no skills to get myself out of this situation. When I was eventually allowed to leave the police station, it was not at that point a closed case. And as I've already told you, I had been repeatedly told, if we find out that this isn't true, you're going to jail. But they were going to absolutely no effort to try and see if it was true. So I was fucked. I was like, what if they close this case and conclude that I'm a liar? So that's why I had to leave immediately at the airport. At least in my mind, that's what I had to do. I was like, I don't want to. I've seen too many signs just today that these people, that, you know, you're not in safe hands. I just need to get out of here. And it was probably in my emotional interest anyway. But yeah. As to whether this case has now been resolved, I have no idea. The police said they would be in contact with me. I'm not sure if you're surprised to hear this, but they have never been in contact with me since. So I'm gonna assume that as soon as I left that office, or at least by that night, the case had been dropped, because, like I say, they really, they yeah. I'm gonna assume that it was dropped, but maybe someone's now in jail, or, you know, maybe it's still ongoing. I have no idea what's going on because they've never contacted me. The only people that have contacted me since are the British Embassy. They've given me like a follow up, you know, just like wellness checks, which, and all I can say is I feel really lucky to be British, because they've really been on top of it, and they've been really kind to me. Yeah. But I do know that the police have been watching me, because when I posted day 96 on Instagram, one of the officers commented saying it was a Bulgarian man, not a Serbian man, but we hope you're well, or something like that. I thought, Jesus, just another sign of incompetency. That you're like, you know, you're commenting on my case publicly. So I know this is directly to you now, the Serbian police. I know you've been watching. Thanks for getting in touch. But because I know you've been watching, I know that you will have been reading the comments. And you've obviously chose to dismiss me. But I hope you've noticed that whilst a lot of comments have been saying that the Serbian people are wonderful, and that people's experience, like, you know, holidaying Serbia has been wonderful, there has not been one single comment that has been positive about you. So many comments have been saying, yep, I'm Serbian, we all hate the police, we all feel scared of them, they're corrupt, they're nasty. So many foreigners have been commenting about them having a bad experience with you whilst they've visited Serbia. So dismiss me if you want. I mean, you made that fucking clear already, that you're gonna dismiss me. But are you gonna dismiss everyone? It seems like it. But shame on you. What's the point in being a police officer if it's not to help people? Yeah, anyway. Guys, for the most part, I really like documenting my life on social media. It's nice to build a community, and it's nice to get feedback on your life, and it's nice to have a hobby. But every now and again, shit gets really real, and it should just be a thing for yourself. But the predicament I was in was that if I'm going to say I'm walking from Scotland to Hong Kong, and then I suddenly go silent for a month on social media, and when I return I'm in a completely new destination, and I never say anything about it, you know, people aren't going to be very nice about that, or, you know, they're not going to leave you alone until you give them something. So I've given you something now to give you a bit of context, but I do hope I can put it behind me, because this is my real life, and it was really not nice. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to the Serbian people. I'm really sorry that you're going through this, way worse than me, and I'm sorry that the only representation online I've given of your country has been so negative. And I also just want to finally end on the note that because I post all my content 3 weeks after it's actually occurred, for me to stay true to that, which I kind of have to, it's my business model and it's just in the interest of my safety, etc. This now means that for just under 2 weeks, I will be silent on social media, so that when you catch up with me in 2 weeks, it's when I'm starting my walk in my new destination. So please don't take this 2 weeks as a sign I've gone into turmoil or anything. It's nothing like that. It's just what has to occur for the storyline of the walk. Anyway, thanks guys. Love you lots.